Well, hey, everybody. Diana, welcome in, babe. I'm glad that you made it. Not Diana H., Diana or Nelius. Welcome in. Hey, mods. Hey, Kathy Burkhart, you're early today. Hey, Joel Sachs. Rachel Sandy made it. Jennifer Ogle is here. Puka Vista. Sarah Cray Cray. Hey, Liz Tricks. Joanne Hawley is here. There's Diana H. Donna Cooper made it. Meredith Lynn. Yeah, that was crazy. She texted that to me. She had a dream last night that you and Liz Tricks were meeting up for a road trip to go see me, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. Maybe we can make that happen. Let's see who else is here. Hey, Lilac Lime, West Coast Fancy Nancy made it. Buffy is here. Jill Turner. I feel like it's been a minute since I've seen you. Hey, babe. Hey, Jackie C. HC from LBC. Cliff Ann made it. Hey, Marie Marion, Nancy Jane, P. Taylor. Thank you, P. Taylor. Hey, Jamie Palmer. Nicole Hazelmiller is here. Thanks, Helena. Hey, Tammy up in New York. Melissa's here. Hey, Chops World. Chops World, I just have to say, I'm still so happy to see you. Welcome back. Abigail, have fun tonight. That sounds great. Hey, Sophia, our saucy German. Randy Pearson is here. Funky, why don't you sit up here, baby? Come on. Stop being silly. Let's stop being silly. There we go. Really tiny. Hey, whine a little bit more. Hey, Holly. So I just set this up and people might be busy tonight and people just may not like me anymore. There's also that. I don't know if you've considered that. I certainly have. Hey, Bohemian Luciferian Witch. I just want to say thank you again. Hey, Katie did it. I want to say thank you again to the people who stuck with me yesterday, who stuck it out. What are you crying about? Good Lord, girl, what's going on over there? What are we whimpering about? Because you're so tawny? Did you know that you were going to be this tawny? Really small. Hey, A Voice Down Under. Hey, Karen Burhow. Yeah, Chops World, I'm serious. Thank you, Jennifer Ogle. Hey, Vicki Andrews. Mimi is here. Love you, Mimi. Thank you for that. Hey, Joel Sachs. Hey, Renee B. Renee B, I love the handbag that you bought. Guys, also thank you to that. Thank you to everybody who supported Southern Goods last week. Renee B got a really pretty one of those. She got the tan. There were 2 tans and 1 black bag left of that like medium size kind of satchel style bag. That was a really pretty bag. I still can't believe she did half off of those bags. That's whenever there's a sale on half off. This is why I'm divorced, but so don't take relationship advice from me. But whenever there's a sale and something is half off, immediately I'm like I'm going to lose money on this. Like this is financially stupid to not purchase, right? Like if it's half off, I feel like a financial advisor would be like, if you don't get it, you're going to lose finances. And it's just that's the way I see it. Hey, Kim is blue. Really tawny. Thank you, Timark. You know, I got this last year. Hey, Marissa Martin. Hey, Original Ann. Original Ann wants to know if you knew. She's asking. She says, but did you know that you were both going to be so cute? Oh, is Armina in here? Are we missing this, Armina? You're seeing it, aren't you? Are you guys seeing this in real time? Original Ann, your Aunt Ann wants to know if you knew that you were going to be this small and never grow. I don't know if anybody knew, but she won all the Westchester dog shows recently. You probably have seen her picture everywhere, but she won every single award. And she's never made a mistake. She beat every single class, even the working class, even the huge dogs. She beat out those guys too. Did you know that you were number 1 in every single one? Guys, she reminds me so much. I know A Voice Down Under. Sure, hold on. I'm going to answer your question, Timark. I don't think she is Buffy. Doesn't she? Who has seen Best in Show? She reminds me so much of Catherine O'Hara's dog in it, and I talk to her like that. Winky, Eugene Levy, the herding group. She beat out the herding group. Yeah, the working group, the working class dogs. You knew it, right? That you won every single award. The judges all looked at you and said, "Unbelievable, kissed by Christ Himself." Right next to the Lord, she laid down upon thee. And the three wise guys showed up and they brought her mirth and merriment and like gold and all that, frankenfur. And then they pointed to the North Star and they were like, "And so mote it be, and let there be frosted mini wheats with eyeballs." And that was the story. And then you grew up with Christ and you guys frolicked in the fields. But what happened was she said, "How come Christ keeps growing into a real human and I just stay small?" But you guys held hands and you frolicked everywhere. Really, Tawny. She reminds me so much of Winky from Best in Show. So cute. Time Mark, I haven't forgotten about you. Vicki Andrews. Hey, Noelle. Lydia. Hey, gorgeous girls. I feel like a Zoom now, sitting in bed eating cereal, feeling sorry for myself. There's a lot of that going around. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the year of the fire horse. I don't know if it's the cosmos. I feel it too, Lydia. I feel it. Now go hug Lucas. And thank you for being a member. I miss you. I know, Armine. Yes, Time Mark, this is a sweater. I've only worn this once. And you know when I think I wore it? On Fred's birthday last year. I'm almost positive I wore it on his birthday last year. And I got this at that store, Trendy Pieces, where I stream at. And it is really cute. And I'm like, why don't we throw that on? Why can't we style it? Why can't we do a little pop of red? Of course we can. And why won't we? Why shan't we? We shan. Strike that. Liz Tricks, please. Strike that. Not a word. I know. Hey, Kestrel. Kestrel, congratulations on adopting a new cat. Thank you, Joel Sachs. Hey, Linda. Holly, you wanted this sweater last year. Hey, Natalie, I got to be honest. I don't love it that much, but the only thing I'm crazy about, and she's not, I don't think Rain is in here. We all know how I feel about this. If you give me a frilly puff sleeve, anything that's like that, it's my favorite thing because it's girly and I love all things girly. So what was I saying? Oh, well, I answered your question, Time Mark. I'm glad I did that because I can't seem to keep up with myself. Guys, hey, Karen. Thank you, Liz. Where are my nurses and my people that don't sleep? Can we get a witness? There are nurses? Meredith Lynn is here. Alana's not here. She's a nurse. Baby Steps isn't here. I also want the hat with the heart on it. Is that something I have or just something like you saw at a Target? Thank you so much, Original Ann. Love you, girl. Holly, I know. Hey, Christine Miller. Any Robin Miners, any puff sleeve in a storm, right? Anything you can give me that's a puff sleeve, I'm going to go for it. Okay, so I need, okay, Nancy, you count. I'm looking for my people who don't sleep and my nurses. I would say doctors, but we don't have any of those. Okay, Diana H. Hey, SoCal Joy. Hey, Debbie Zito. Quick question. Not really quick, but I know Joel. I was gonna say Joel Sachs is in good company. He never sleeps. He comes in with us. Okay, so do you guys take anything for sleep? That's my first question. Let's discuss this, shall we? I went to the doctor. When did I go to the doctor? Donna Cooper. When did I go to the doctor? What day is it? I think I went to the doctor on Tuesday, but why does it feel like I went yesterday? I didn't because I had therapy yesterday. Okay. Oh, Renee B's a nurse. She's in here. Do you guys take anything for sleep? Okay. This better be an automated call. Hold on. Hello?
Hello, this is the
Yeah, we know. Okay. It was a reminder for something. Okay, West Coast Fancy Nancy. There we go. Hey, Gina. Um, so I go to the doctor on Tuesday, and guys, my doctor is so fun. He's super country. And while that's not my favorite thing all the time, he is hilarious and I like him a lot. So let's just carefully comb through this because we have that kind of time, right? And sometimes, hey Jojo, sometimes I'm such a bad content creator that it's important for me to take a subject or a sentence and try to stretch it as far as we possibly can. And that kind of what do they call me? A master manipulator. It master manipulates you guys into thinking it's all just fluff. Oh, you took trazodone as well. Okay. First of all, I love my doctor. He's so fun. He spends like an hour and a half with you, which you may or may not like that, but I don't get out of the house, nor do I leave my zip code. So it's important for me to make eye contact and sometimes go out and talk to people. Hey, MLB Tracy, why do I feel like I haven't seen you in like 5 years? No password? No password read today. What? What does that mean, Jill? No password read today? Super chat nailed? What does that mean? I'm frightened, Jill. I'm scared. I need you to really expound on what you're saying. And I'm hanging on for dear life. Well, MLB Tracy, I'm really happy to see you. Hey, Linda Garden Lady. I mean, hey, bless Gloria. I am grateful for this super chat, Jill, but I'm also frightened by this. But I also scare easily lately because I don't want to get decapitated. Okay, so I go to the doctor and it's so cute. The only thing that's not wrong with me is my blood pressure is normal. I'm not sure what that means, but it's always like 120 over 80. 2 days ago, it was 118 over 78. So nothing different, right? So I was like, well, that's one thing, right? Because otherwise, according to everything else, I'm Meryl Streep from Death Becomes Her. Do you remember the part where Sidney Pollock was the doctor? I loved him, by the way. Remember when she goes to the doctor and he like feels her pulse and then he checks with the stethoscope and he takes the stethoscope up and he throws it in the trash and then he gets a new one and he's like, and he's like, and he can't find her pulse because she's already dead. And she's like, what's wrong with me? And Bruce Willis is standing there and he's like, well, he's like, your temperature, your body temperature is 30 degrees. He was like, and your heart stopped beating. And she's dead. And that's pretty much what happened at my doctor's appointment. It was interesting. He was like, pick out a casket. And I said, I'm being cremated in a pizza box. Thank you. I'm better than that. Hey, Paula. Yeah, I don't leave the house. So it's exciting. I'm like an old person. Whenever the people in senior living, well, before I worked in senior living, I worked for doctors. I worked for cataract surgeons. So that was also a really fun job because we would do workups for eye exams and workups for pre-ops for doing the surgery, right? And you could tell the old people that was like they had been waiting and waiting to have this appointment because they would just sit there and talk because they don't get out of the house. And hey, Ewa was not your girl. If you were coming in for an eye exam and you were wanting to chat it up and you were 85, I got in trouble a lot because they'd be like, hey, Reese, that eye exam took 3 hours and we're trying to figure out why you were in there with Edna for so long. And I was like, really? Because I will sit there and I will flap my gums off. I love people who want to sit and chat. I mean, how weird. I do this for a living. Why a pizza box? Well, it's not just any pizza box. Time, Mark. Let's get specific here, girl. La Casa Pizza in Omaha, Nebraska is my favorite pizza place. It's Neapolitan style pizza, and it's my favorite thing on the Lord's green earth. And so when I go, it just feels fitting to me to throw my old bones into a pizza box. Plus, I'm overweight, and food is all that really mattered to me. And nothing gets more sad than that. So it makes sense. I couldn't send a super chat because I'm a techno fool, but I finally managed it because well, thank you, Jill. Okay, so it was something on your end. You were scaring my soul, but now you're not. And that makes all the sense in the world. I'm just glad you're here. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Paula. Hey, Kat. Thank you, Kat. Hey, Lacey Silver. Yeah, so I just yeah, I gab, gab, gab. I'll talk, talk, talk. So, what was I saying? What was the point? Oh, yeah. So I went, "Hey, Pat, Jonas." I went to the doctor and it was the cutest thing. She takes my blood pressure. And again, I don't get out of the house. So, am I putting the pizza box thing in your will? I should, Kim. Boy, I don't think this attorney is going to want to work with me. He already thought I was weird the other day, and I feel like he's going to be like, I'm going to recommend somebody else to work with you because I'm going to go in there and be like, so I need to leave certain things to people who watch me on YouTube, and then also, time mark. Also, I need to be taxidermed and then thrown into a pizza box. Yeah, maybe that's too heavy. So, I go into the doctor and she's so cute, the girl that takes my blood pressure, and she's like, "So what's going on? You just here for your regular checkup?" And I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "I'm not sleeping." And I was like, "I feel stressed and my period's coming." And I was like, "I had this conversation with my mom that's sketch." And I was like, "There's some people who are sending me death threats." And she was like, "Oh, okay. Well," she was like, I'm gonna go." It was so funny. Like she just didn't know what to do. Well, she's seasoned. I see her every time I go. But she goes, "Is it okay if I send in a med student?" She was like, "We have a med student here for 6 weeks." And she goes, "Is it okay if I send her in before the doctor to talk to you?" And I was like, "God, yes, of course. Like, the more the merrier." Like, I was like, "Absolutely. I've got 3 hours before I got to get home." Like, yeah, bring her in. And I felt so bad for this girl. Beautiful girl. I want Bo. I would love to have Gertie too, but I fear people might fight me. They would, and they will. They shall come for you like gestures in the night. Was that a threat? I don't know. Hey, slews. So yeah, this poor med student, this girl walks in, gorgeous. Like, I don't know how old she was. I would guess 25, milky white skin, like fake lashes. I was like, are those like it looked like daddy long legs. I was like, damn, she's pretty. Hey, Aspire, when someone's so pretty that you start to feel inadequate? That's what happened. And she walked in and I said, "You're so pretty." And she was like, "Thank you." And I said, "No, that wasn't a compliment." It was like, "I feel inadequate around you. Get somebody else." I was like, "Get out." Can you imagine if she was going to do a pap smear on me? I need a pap. And there's a nurse practitioner there that's like much more overweight and like just kind of more my body type. And she's probably in her 60s. I'm going to guess that she smokes. That's who's doing my pap. I will never, has anybody ever had a pap by a 19-year-old? I have had so many paps where the girl walks in and she's like, "Hi," and she's fit and she has a membership to Gold's Gym and that's all she does and buy like leaf spinach in the organic section of Trader Joe's. I won't allow that ever again. I did that a couple of times and I was spread eagle and I was like, "Can you imagine what she's thinking right now? Like looking at this heavy ass chalupa that's like drooping to the floor." Excuse me, I know that was too far. Hey, Gemini girl, I got repaired and released from the hospital. Okay, well, I am so happy to hear that because I've been thinking about you and we all sent prayers and I'm so happy to hear it. And I'm glad that you're here, babe. And I hope that you're feeling good. That's really good news. So, um, yeah, Buffy, Armine's kind of her godmother, her Gertie's godmother. Now, if Armine forfeits, who would we have next on the line? We do need to come up with like if somebody dies or can't get Gertie, we need to definitely have like a list of people. I think I'm going to need at least 5 on the list to feel right about it in case I'm dead. Yeah, I don't like my fupa either, and there is nothing we can do about it. Hey, blue girl me. And again, I mean, could we do something about it? Of course. I don't want to. I'm not going to do anything about it. Um, so she was so cute, but she had, okay, Shelly Kelly. This girl had, and I am about to just retell the story, but I want you to understand I'm not making fun of her at all. This girl, I'm not like mocking her or making fun of her. This is a true statement. This girl had zero communication skills. And what I mean by that, okay, good. We've got a whole list here. We'll have to put you all on a Zoom call for the attorney. What I mean by that, I will never have sex until it's gone. Your fupa? Oh, hell no. A voice down under, how are you going to get rid of that thing? What do you mean? Are you just going to be celibate then? Are you just going to be like in the celibate club till the end of time? Let me give you a good pointer. So whenever you go to have sex with somebody, here's what you do. I do this all the time back in the day. Here's what you do. You say, and I'm serious by the way, I did this with Jeff, I did it with Tommy. You cover yourself with a pillow, okay? You lay there, all right? Cover up with a full bed pillow and put it across the midsection. And here's what you say. I'm just really self-conscious because I'm so fit. It makes guys uncomfortable. Like I have like a full-on six pack and I work really hard at it. Like fitness is my life. And so I until I'm comfortable showing it, like it's so defined that I just don't want to. I know Joel Sachs says no man is ever going to worry about that. I really do believe a voice down under that men truly don't care. They're not that difficult. They're pretty simp. Like they're pretty easy. And I really think like your body is the last thing they care about. But here's the thing. I also think, hey, Angie Mo. Yeah, Joel Sachs says we don't care. If they care. Hey, Margie Barr. If they care, that's a broken ass man. I'm being serious. Hey, Clayton says I don't care. They really don't care. I've been married so many damn times and I get so worried. The one that I was worried most about was Tommy because he truly is like a yoga body fitness freak. Like he really is defined. And so I was like, ooh, we're not a match, dude. Like we're not a match. This is not good. It shakes like jello at a potluck, right? And they don't care. They don't care. They do not care. I'm telling you. Like I had to get past that, but they really don't. They want the ham wallet. That's what they're after. If they have to lift a garage door to get to your ham wallet, they don't give a shit. And trust me, I have one. I have a garage door that you pretty much have to like lift up. Hey, Lenora Gray. And I disagree with that, Joel, but I'm also a straight woman. So I don't know. I'm used to peens, right? So this girl, I just have to say this. Your hamster gave up years ago. It's not about the men. I used to be a real goer and not shy at all. I don't feel sexy anymore. I'm too tired. Oh, all right. Well, that's different. That's cool. As long as it's because you don't want to. Like, don't let your fupa or your chalupa get in the way of it, though, is all I'm saying. Like, you can get the most chiseled dude and he's going to lift up that garage door just like he's going to do it with Malibu Barbie. Well, hey, look at that. See, he can testify to this. Good night. Take care. Love you too. But hold on real quick. Hey, Angel. Babe, listen to me. You remember when we got naked all the time and I would put a pillow over me and I was like, I'm just so fit. I don't want you to see how much I work on my body. And then remember the time I took the pillow off and you had to lift up my garage door to get in, just like any other fine car, right? Like you want to cover that thing anyway. It's purpose. The fupa is there by design, right? Hey, Don Clark, don't you feel like you didn't care? You didn't care. Like whether it was bouncy, like again, like jello at a potluck or a family gathering, it was flappy and bouncy and you didn't give a shit, right? Right? Say it. Did he leave? That's sick, Linda. Yeah, so if the man, you're silly. The heavy lifting was all nose. Yeah, but that's not fair to say. Tommy's nose is bigger than the beak on a bald eagle. So that's kind of unfair. Nobody's nose. Tommy's nose is like a narwhal. Literally, it's like a unicorn nose. It's a beak. Now, I love that thing. It's one of my favorite features on Tommy and his hands. But you have to adjust to that. That thing will get you. Like you'll trip over that thing when he turns. You can see it coming around the corner. So it's not fair to say the nose did all the heavy lifting. It did, and it does. The nose can lift the hood. It's wild to see. It's pretty It's a magic. It's a magic trick that he can pull. Susan Cook. Good Lord, I'm happy to see you. And you can see that on the other channel that goes on somewhere in the on the web. Do guys even care? So can you please answer this, Lifeboat? I mean, Joel Sachs already said no. Clayton said no. They don't care. I find that they really don't care. Yeah, Tommy is a narwhal. Literally, like his nose is so big. It's like an anteater. Like it's no joke. It's unbelievable. It's even crazier in person. Funny fact about Tommy, his nose and his hands are the same size. You wouldn't know it, but you would in person. It's pretty crazy, that thing. And I happen to really, really be attracted to it. I like it. Guys care. They want what they find aesthetic and beautiful to look at. And I did. I'm very content. I like my women to look like women, but that's just me. Bella Beluza is a new subscriber, and I hope that you stick around. This is not the best conversation for a brand new person, but Bella, please give it another chance, because sometimes we pull it off. And today may not be that day. But Bella, I love you. I already love your name, and I hope that you stick around. And you know what? If you don't, that will be a shame. But we hope that you'll give us a chance, Bella. Thank you, Angel. So yeah, guys don't care. And I like what Tommy said here. I want my women to look like women. And what that means is like a sack of potatoes. He likes that. I look like, if you took a, like the big bag of potatoes you can buy at Publix. You take my clothes off, that's pretty much it. It's a bunch of Idaho spuds with a ham wallet. Thank you, MLB Tracy. So I just thank you for that, Lifeboat. You've got my ear. Look at that, everybody. Maybe she'll stay with us. Everybody be cool. We have a new person. Everybody. Shh, be cool. Hey, Rhonda McNeil. I like my women on the trashy side. Well, I'm not entirely sure what that means, Clayton. Like, what does trashy even mean? I'm not entirely sure, other than the only thing I can think of, like, with trashy would be like the Nazi guy and his lack of teeth. Yeah, I've earned each and every spud. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's not what Tommy meant. Okay. Well, that's what I meant. And Lady in the Streets, Freak in the Sheets. That's what Nancy's talking about. Oh, it's a song. Okay. Well, I don't listen to what you kids do these days. I'm late. I came in at Ham Wallet. Sorry, Rhonda, but your grandfather did. You can't unsubscribe. So to all the people who are not new here, hey, Susie CJ, you know the rules. You guys have to hit subscribe and like. You signed a contract. It's what it is. But Bella is new. So let's try to keep her. Okay. We want to keep Bella. Joel weighs in and says, I like someone. Aw. And she's far too worried about what she looks like. She's stunning, but just can't see it. I tell her every day how beautiful she is. Whoa. Is the Lifeboat still in here? That's crazy. And Sophia, stop it with that. You zesty German. Joel, this is what Tommy does all the time. Like, that sounds like something Tommy would say. So keep trying. It's probably never going to work, but keep trying. Eventually she may not reject it so much. I rejected it for years and I'm better at it. Sorry, Susie CJ. So it's like Mrs. Potato Head with lipstick. No, I'm not saying my head is like a potato. I'm saying my body is like a bag of those Idaho spuds with legs and a vagina. Or a panty hamster. I think Tommy left. Yeah, I think he did too. And I think that's probably best. I would have left as well, but I can't because I'm the one on the screen. And that would just be weird. I just have to say that, ladies, now that I'm in my mid to late 40s, they don't care. I've been around the block. I'm riddled with STDs, or so they say. That's the rumor anyway. And they don't care. I find that they really don't care, even when they have like rock hard workout bodies like Tommy, or manatee bodies like Jeff, which I'm not making fun of. I also am a manatee. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is I've boned them all and none of them care. So Oh, yeah. So my doctor's appointment. I am 41, but I would consider that mid to late 40s at this point. It's all downhill. It's a slippery ass slope, and I don't take it lightly. I am frightened at my this stage in my life. I'm middle aged. So speaking of death and dying and being middle aged, how do you have two men in different countries flirting here? Or only maybe one is flirting? Who else is flirting? Was Tommy flirting? Tommy never flirts. I can't hardly get him to flirt. Who was flirting? I didn't catch it. The only people who flirt with me are our dear, dear lesbians whom I love and I enjoy the flirt. So back to this girl. I know, Don, but still. Back to this girl at the doctor's. Yeah, I've heard that, Heather Carr. Happy early birthday, MLB Tracy. This poor girl, she's a med student. Good for her, by the way. Hey, Dub Track. She's a med student and she's sitting there, and this girl she can't communicate. It's wild. Do you ever observe that? Katie did it. You know what that's about. Is JoJo still in here? Where's my lesbians? Should I be flirting, Reese? Sorry. No, JoJo, but just do it when you can. Katie did it's a lesbian. Let's see, JoJo and Diana H. Yadira's half and half. She double dips. But is that it for our lesbians today? Where are all the lesbians? Don't we have more lesbians than that? I'm a little bit upset about it. I always feel comforted by lesbians. Just in case, just in case. All flirting is welcome. The ones who care are so busy. Yeah, where's Nora? That's another lesbian. Although Nora's married. I think the rest of our girls are not. No, Katie did. It's married. Damn it. Bohemian Luciferian Witch. Okay. Jennifer Ogle, you're pan. Marissa Martin, I didn't know you were bi. Diana H doesn't remember how to flirt. That's fair. That's okay. That's all right, guys. It comes right back. I promise. It just like your pants falling off real quick. It comes right back. The ones who care are so busy admiring themselves, they can't find their way around. That's the point of that. I don't understand what that means. Good for you, Iwa. I'll get my aunt to join. She's a lesbian. A lot of aunts are lesbians, and I appreciate that. I rely on that fact. That is a scientifically proven fact that a lot of aunts are lesbians. Thank you, West Coast Fancy Nancy. Please bring her in. Katie did it can still flirt. She's not dead. JoJo's free and ready to mingle. Pamela says, what the hell did I tune into? I couldn't even tell you. Again, I don't know what's going to happen, guys. I don't know what's going to happen. That's the problem. That's why our channel isn't growing, because we don't we don't do content here. We don't, no idea what's going to come out. Oh, good for you, Mommers. I love that. We all know we love the lesbians. Helena, thank you for your super chat. I didn't fully understand the message, but I'm sure that you'll get back to me on that. So this girl, no joke, this is kind of a sweet story. This med student comes in. I'm not kidding. This girl's really, really pretty. And yes, Sophia. No, it's not that she's not communicating. Kim is Blue. I was going to ask you guys this. When I say she can't communicate, I don't mean she can't talk. I mean, have you ever met someone who's so has such anxiety with speaking and has trouble getting, she was so trying to play the role of med student in a professional setting that she was robotic, very robotic. There you go, Shell. I'm gonna be her. So she comes into the room and she's like, hello, hi. And it was just very I think she was being who. Now, this is also girls, a lot of women in their 20s. To me, I didn't know who I was in my 20s. You could tell this girl didn't know who she was, and she was being what she felt like she was supposed to be. So she was like, my name is so-and-so. And she was like, what brings you in today? And I was like, I always think that's odd. I always think it's weird to go to a doctor and you tell them everything that's going on, and then the doctor walks in, they're like, hey, what's up? And it's like, why am I repeating everything? But I don't care, because I had that kind of time and I love chatting. So I brought up the not sleeping first, and she was like, yeah, yes, I would love to talk to you about that. Hey, Philip writes, should be a pathologist. They work on specimens and dead bodies. It's not that. She's going to come out of her shell. She just was so uncomfortable in her own skin. That's what I mean. I'm not, please don't think I'm bashing this girl. I ended up really liking her, and she just doesn't know how to, she was so uptight. Like, she will relax. No, I think she's going to do great with people. I think she'll make a great doctor. My point is, she was so like, what brings you in? Great. I would love to talk more about that. Tell me, are you having trouble going to sleep? Or are you waking up? Like, she was just so like mechanical. Oh, okay. Maybe she was new. She's definitely new. She's just a med student there for 6 weeks. Again, I'm not making fun of her. That's not the point. I'm describing how I witnessed this, like how I saw it. And what was really great about it, the guy who cares about you not being fit enough. Oh, yes. They couldn't find happy, but so true. And we don't need to be messing with men or women like that. Hey, Just Jen. It's not that she didn't have a bedside manner, either, Lydia Krause. It was more that she wasn't rude. She didn't not have a bedside manner. She had no confidence in herself. Do you understand? Like, it sounded like very like talking from a script. Yeah, Kim is blue. She just wasn't feeling safe in her own skin. Like, she just didn't have the confidence yet. She will, right? So it was kind of cool though, because I spent probably 20 minutes with this girl. And the more I talked, the more she was like, I even watched at one point, she went like this. Like, she went from like this, she was like really uncomfortable, like her spine didn't move, and she just like relaxed and her face relaxed. And I was like, hey, Sandy Wandy. I was like, here's the thing. I was like, yes, time mark. And it was really kind of cool. I was like, here's the thing. I was like, I go to sleep, but then I wake up, and I was like, I have a lot of stress right now with my job. And I was like, I've been getting some death threats. And I was like, and I have bad period cramps. And I was like, is there anything we can take for that? I was like, maybe like some hydrocodone. Like, maybe we could slip a few of those. I don't know. Hey, Jeannie Hansen. I even said that to her. She was like, hydrocodone for your period? And I was like, you get it. Don't you? Come on. You're going to be in med school. Like, you understand that shit is addictive. And if I could take it every day, I would. Hey, Sarasota Blend. Welcome in. I love seeing you here. Hey, Brock Bandy. Yeah, Paula, exactly. You don't know where you have to meet people where they're at. I'm telling you what I observed. I'm not telling you this girl is flawed. I'm not telling you that she'll never be able to, like, she's coming out of her shell. So as I'm talking to her, I was like, and I was like, just life stuff. And she was like, that sounds really intense. And I was like, yeah. And I think my sugars are a little bit high. And I was like, I don't know. I said, I'm a single mom. I live out here in the middle of nowhere. And I said, I moved here from Kansas City, and it's all so weird. And it was the coolest thing? I kind of took over the conversation, which I think she preferred. I have to blow my nose. Hold on. And, oh, I know, Pamela. I was more joking. I'm not going to get hooked on hydrocodone. I'm afraid. I mean, I won't really take much more than an Advil, to be honest. Hey, Hux, can you turn the heat down? I'm hot. Thank you. You know what this girl said to me? It really was such a win for me. This has confirmed everything I've ever, before I was ever on YouTube. The only thing I could say I liked about me was this. So after I finished finally talking, she's sitting in a chair all relaxed, and she goes, I feel like I could just sit and talk to you for hours. And it made me so happy. I was like, really? And she goes, yeah. And I said, I love that. I said, well, I wish we had that kind of time. I love that. And she didn't say anything else. Pretty much the doctor walked in like seconds after that. But I have been told my entire adult life, like, "You make me feel comfortable. I feel like I could tell you anything." Hey, Lynn is swell, and it's never gotten old, and she didn't say, "You make me feel comfortable." The only thing this girl said is she went, "I feel like I could sit and talk to you for hours." And it made me feel good because it made me feel like I accomplished what I was trying to accomplish with her, which was make her feel seen and heard. By me just having a very, very normal conversation, she didn't feel like she was on in the hot seat, I think, and like had to be this like certain character. Like, I'm going to be a doctor, so I need to come in and like, it was just like, that was such a big compliment for me. It was such a huge compliment. Uh, I kind of do feel comfortable. Can I buy you like $200 in drinks and dinner? Andy, yeah, you can post a super chat. That'd be great. Just kidding. Thank you. I'm not kidding, but totally kidding. No, seriously though, I have had so many people say that to me in my life, and it was so kind and refreshing, and I really, really liked it. And so the doctor came in, and this dude is country. This dude is country. Yeah, so I took Huxley to lunch there the other day, and guess what, Angie Mo? The host seated us, that guy, he's like an older guy, and he goes, "My daughter just left." He was like, "She's gonna be so sad that she missed you." And I went, "Who's your daughter?" I was like, "I think you got the wrong girl." And he was like, Ella, he was like, "She loved you the last time you were here." It was our waitress. And I said, "Oh my God." And he was like, "She talked and talked about you." It was so cute. Angie Mo and I went to lunch, and our waitress was so cute. She was so cute. She was just like little, like just kind of introverted, like young. How old was she? 21, maybe. I think she's a college student. And Angie and I had been eating. We had been there for like an hour. And she finally came up to us and she looked at me first and she goes, "What do you guys do for a living?" And I was like, and I let Angie answer first. And Angie was like, "I'm in healthcare." And I didn't know what I was going to say because every time somebody asked me what I do, I always say I work for Google. Like, I don't. And Angie was like, "She's a YouTuber." And she was like, "Are you really?" She was like, "Because you're just really dressed cool." What did she say, Angie? She was like, "You stand out." She was like, "You just dress really cool. And I like your accessories." And she was like, "You just seem really nice." And I was like, "Oh, wow. Thanks." I was like, "Thank you so much." And I told her, I said, "This is my channel. If you ever come in, I'd love to see you." And did she understand it? Hey, Julie. Time mark, I absolutely can. Mommers, thanks for making me feel well for the past 2 days. Yesterday was learning. Today is a fun time. Mommers, are you new, babe? Yesterday was a heavy show. Yes, see, that's what I mean. This channel is weird for new people because it's not, I don't even know what the theme of this show is. Mommers, like, it's probably just kind of a lifestyle channel. It's just real life stuff. We laugh and then we cry and we talk about real stuff. We talk about sex. Hey, Henry's World today. Of course you can. Anybody can ask any question. Thank you, Mommers. And if you're new, welcome. You're a beautiful lady, and thank you for your super chat. Oh, you used to mod for Surge? That is so cool. I wonder how he's doing. We do crap our pants here, West Coast Fancy Nancy. If you talk to Serge, tell him hello for us, for sure. That's really cool. That's nice. I always liked him. So yeah, I forgot about that. Angie, she was so cute. Hey, Silver Lining, she was a really sweet girl. And it's guys, that's what means more to me than anything. And that's why I love this channel. It's very similar. So then I left. I took Huxley to lunch there last Saturday. And that was the host. He was like, "My daughter is going to be so sad that she missed you." And I was like, "I think you got the wrong girl. I don't know who your daughter is." And he was like, "Ella, she just loved you." He was like, "She wouldn't stop talking about you. You were so kind to her." And I was like, "Oh my God." I said, "I loved your daughter. She was so sweet and adorable." Abigail, closing, we will speak the truth in love, growing in every way and more like Christ. That is an absolute truth. And I love that. New Testament. Thank you, Abigail, and have a good time tonight at Bible study, babe. Thank you for your super chat. Uh, you're the Don Cherry of YouTube. I don't know what that means, Philip Wright. Okay, Abigail, thank you again for being here, babe. Anyway, I forgot about that. So, guys, my doctor is a funny dude. He is pure country, and I will say the dude has a bit of a mullet, and I'm not judging for that. Like, he pulls it off. And he sat and chatted. He just sits and chats with you for like an hour. And I love a doctor like that. I love a bedside manner. He's super chill. Like, he's not an alarmist. He's just I was like, can we get some, is there any way to get more like opiates or anything like that? Anyway, no. Okay. Unfortunately, that was a no, unless I am dying. You're a weirdo lighthouse. You embrace the awkward and weird in a calm, proud, and loud manner that it relaxes people to drop their masks around you and they put on for the world. And that's a real talent. My smoky hot butter cake. I love Sophia. Old Charlie was here a few days ago. Sophia, that is the ultimate compliment. And I love you because you've also just been with me forever, and I just know you're not going to leave me. So there's a lot of comfort in that, Sophia. Thank you for that. And that's a cool description. I love you, girl. Thank you for being a member. Uh, my husband and I just met a waitress named Ella. Been back twice since then. She has my heart and she hugs me. Well, why wouldn't she, Susan P? You live under a leaf in the forest. You're the cutest thing I've ever known in my life, Susan P, and anyone else here. So I'm not surprised by that. I was on Tommy's thread and I made a comment. Two people responded to what I said and said, why was I saying what I said? And what did it have to do with Aaron not protesting on Friday? Henry's World today, I don't fully understand this. There's two separate things going on here. What? I don't guess I understand the question. Did you have a question for me? Tommy's thread, I made a comment. Two people responded. I said, I don't know, babe. If you're asking me, like, why wasn't he protesting on Friday? I don't know anything about Aaron Smith Levin. I mean, we know what we all know, but I don't know anything like behind the scenes, if that's what you're implying. I don't know. And maybe you're not implying that. I don't know. Original Ann, wasn't that nice? I wasn't on Aaron's channel. What the heck? How would my comment and that's weird. That I can't answer. That's a YouTube question. I get it, but I don't know the answer to that. How would your comment end up on Aaron's channel? That I don't know, and that's super bizarre. I'm sorry that happened to you. Don Cherry, famous Canadian, known for his suits. People either loved him or hate him. People definitely love or hate me. I'm like what Tommy's dad said. I'm a sardine. No one is ever like, I'll take sardines. I can take them or leave them. You love them or you hate them. I am a sardine. I'm the sardine of YouTube. What's a hillbilly's favorite activity to do on Halloween? Dub track? I couldn't tell you. So, this doctor, guys, pumpkin? I don't get it. Oh, gross. I think I get it now. I had to put that together. Ew. I don't know. That's uncomp. And all parties involved. And there's 230 parties here. That's a lot of discomfort. Thank you for that. And I hope it never happens again. And I hope that I forget it as quick as it happened. This doctor, guys, was so cute. I just have to say, he laid me back on the table to check my tum because I said that I thought I was having a panic attack or dying or something. Because remember, I didn't sleep the night before and I wasn't prepared for that. And I was a little embarrassed because he had to see my fupa. And he was so cute. I laid back on the table and he goes, this is just a side note. And then we're going to talk about, thanks, Dub Track. We're going to talk about the real question I have. I was wearing my faux leather pants and he touched on my fupa and he goes, I like them pants, girl. And I was like, thanks. You're not going to believe what he said. And I'm going to use this sentence everywhere I go now. And I hope that you adopt it as well, especially in this accent. And this is verbatim what he said. I like them pants, girl. And I went, thanks. And he went, you are on the cutting edge of fashion. Hello. That was the best thing I've ever heard in my life. And if you guys don't steal that and use it in your everyday life, I'm going to be angry about it. You need to apply that to sentences at least once a week. Just say it to someone. Kind of like we talked about saying, like, yeah, Gen O, kind of like saying, like when someone's sucks at something, you could leave the conversation by going, I'm sorry you couldn't be here with us today. That's one. There's evil afoot. You might want to use that in your daily life. What was the other one? Oh, that sounds unlikely. That seems unlikely. Just say something like that to people too. Just throw them for a loop. When they tell you a story, just go, yeah, it seems unlikely. Just see how it goes. Just let it roll off the tongue. Yeah, Holly, of course you are. But it was the cutest thing I'd ever heard. He went, you are on the cutting edge of fashion. It was the best thing I'd heard in a long time. I was like, it's true. That's a fact. But I mean, it was just, if you don't start using it, hey, babe, if you don't, by the way, babe, Jen, you say Gino, like I get that because it looks like Gino and that's my father's name. That's a girl and her name is Jen O. Just so you know, because I heard you call her out in the boat, I think yesterday when I was in your chat and you were like, hey, Gino. She had to correct me too. It's Jen O, kind of like Twyla. Same thing. Just letting you know. But in all seriousness, guys, in the cutting edge of fashion, you guys need to adopt that. Thank you, Dubtrack. In all seriousness, though, so he did write me a prescription, and I need to talk to you people about it for a minute because I am frightened. Okay. I picked it up today. Couple of weird things. This has nothing to do with anything. We're just stretching time here. That's all we're doing because I can't create real content. So we're just making things last and you're just participating in the conversation. But I told him I wasn't sleeping. Vicky, literally nothing. Well, you're not an idiot at all, Henry's World today. No one says that, as far as you know. Just kidding. I was quoting a movie that only probably Tommy would know what I was saying. Can that also be a put down? Cutting edge of stupidity? Yes, that would probably be a put down. I wore faux leather pants today, and the elderly woman who I work with said to me, can you get me pants like that for my birthday? That's cute. And they are in the Anthropologie sale. So tell her yes. Sophia. So he wrote me a script, guys, and I'm frightened. I'm scared. I'm still very much a Scientologist when it comes to taking medication. I'm scared. Hey, Miss Sassafras, he wrote me a script for Trazodone. Now, there could be an upside. Like I want to take one and then go live. Like, I think that would probably be fun. He said that it is not addictive. So there's that, but I am frightened and I was hesitant to purchase said Trazodone. But I had to take my mom out today and we went to Costco to pick it up. Twyla. Hey, Twyla. Thanks, Reese. I'm lurking. He's got it down now, girl. Twyla, Jen O. Jen O, Twyla, meet Tommy. Tommy will get it right now. He is a trainable crim. He really is. Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, damn. Lydia says best drug in the world. I'm on it. So they have it over in the UK. Well, look at that. Hey, Pam. 2 days in a row. I'm so happy to see you, Pam. I didn't know they had Trazodone available in the UK. Okay. So, guys, this is what's weird too. I got a new insurance. This is creepy. And this is a side note. This is a damn side note for all of us Americans. They're listening to everything we do. I got a brand new insurance. I had to get away from Blue Cross and I have a whole new insurance. Huxley and I this year, I have an insurance broker. My insurance was going to go up like $500 a month this year if I stuck with the same plan. Exactly, lifeboat. Exactly. You're not the best at it, but we're working on it. Okay, Bella, see, this is what I mean. You could fall asleep during a live if you took trazodone. That could be fun. Like, that could be interesting. Can you imagine who will run with that? If I was just like, yeah, so then I was, and I just like conk out, that would be amazing. Okay, hold on. This is weird. I had to get a brand new, whole different company of insurance, right? So I get a text from Costco that the prescription is ready. And hey, Java girl, I go in today and they know me at the pharmacy. Everyone knows me because I make it, I force them to. Like everywhere I go, my mom even today was like, "Did you know those guys?" I was like, "No, they just I know them because they work at the pharmacy." Uh Shelly. So I go to the pharmacy and I'm like, "Hey, Chad," right? Chad knows me. I was like, "Hey, Chad." And I said, "I got a text that this new prescription's ready, but I said I have a new insurance." This is creepy, guys. Pay attention to what I'm about to say. He goes, "Oh, no, we got it." I was like, "You got what?" And he goes, "We got your new insurance information." And I was like, "No, you don't, because it's a whole new company." Hey, Becky. Thank you, Becky, for telling me. I said, "It's an entirely different company, dude. It's not even close to the same as Blue Cross." And I said, "Don't you need a copy of my new card?" And he goes, "Nope, we've already run it. We got it." And I said, "What the hell? What in the jester?" Hey, Giselle, welcome back. Reese has the flirt to a science. I'm not allowed. You get it? Excuse me? What does that mean? Say it. Yeah, no, they did not get it from the doctor, Kim. So I was like, "Chad, how did you get it?" And he goes, "Well, everybody and everyone in charge is listening in on everything you're doing." And it freaked me out. He was like, "Sometimes that happens." He was like, "We just get it." And I was like, "That's effing weird, dude." But anyway, it was fine. I picked it up and I said, "It's 100 milligrams." So I pick it up and I said, "Do you want me to talk to Nathan?" Nathan is the pharmacist and he's so fun. He's just this older man and I think he can't stand me. And he was like, Nathan could hear the conversation. He was like putting pills together. And I went, "Do you want me to go talk to Nathan about it since it's a new prescription?" And he goes, "I don't think so." He was like, "I don't think you need to talk to him." He was like, "I don't think there's anything." And I said, "Well," I was like, "because it's a new prescription." Again, like you can tell that I never leave the house. And he was like, "Okay." And he took the bag and he set it over in a different window. And he was like, "Nathan." When I see Nathan at Costco, like anywhere, if he's on his lunch break, I'm like, "Hey, Nathan. Hi, Nathan." Like, it's kind of sad. He came in on his day off once. He was like shopping. And I was like, "Nathan," I said, "how come you're not wearing your white coat?" I think he gets really creeped out. So he comes over to the window. I feel bad for this dude. He comes up to the window and I was like, and he goes, "Hey there." I was like, "Hey, Nathan." And I said, "I just figured we should talk because it's a new prescription I've never taken before." And he goes, "What are you concerned about?" And oh, stop it. And he goes, "What are you concerned about?" And I said, "Well, to be honest," I was like, "a fate worse than death, like getting murdered in my sleep, decapitation, right?" I was like, "I got this group of crazy ass sex mason cult trying to run me off the road." I was like, "You name it. You pick it, you name it, man." I was like, "There's these crazy guys." I was like, "Are you a Mason?" And he goes, "No." He goes, "What are you concerned about with the trazodone?" And I went, "Oh." I was like, "I'm afraid that these crazy guys that were going to murder me in my sleep." And I said, "So I'm afraid to take it because I'm a single gal at home with a child." And I know, babe, love you. I said, "But I'm a single gal at home with a child." And I said, "If this is gonna knock me out," I said, "and I get murdered, what are we looking at? Like, what are the odds?" Hey, Karen. And I said, "Is this a gamble, Nathan, or what do you think? Like, what are your thoughts?" He was not into it at all. He is a very refined older black man. And he was just like, and he gave me the most straight face, you guys. And he goes, And my mom showed up right at that moment because my mom was tooling around looking at cookies. And I said, what are we looking at? Like, what are the risks if I get murdered by these crazy sex cult guys in my sleep? And I said, what if I'm decapitated? I said, and I take a trazodone, would that have saved my life if I hadn't taken it, Nathan? And um, he goes, honestly, if you're going to get murdered, he goes, I would rather be murdered on trazodone. He goes, because it just seems like that would be better if it's going to happen. And my mom was like, he's so dry, but I don't know that he's actually like, I don't think it's dry humor. I think the dude is just super dry. Like he's super, um, my mom was cringing, but it was super. And then I started to go down that rabbit hole and I thought, you know what a way to sell a drug. Yeah, great answer, Nathan. He is a very reasonable pharmacist. I think Nathan's your guy for a lot of life choices. Like, honestly, yeah, I'm thinking about going up there next time and like making a list of things I'm concerned about and just being like, can I speak to Nathan real quick? And call him Nate. And then just be like, hey, Nathan, um, like I have a lot of life choices that I've been like weighing heavy on me. And I just wondered if we could talk for like 5 minutes, like just see if I could have a moment of his time. Uh, so he said, gamble it. He was like, roll the dice. He said, if you're going to get murdered, it's going to happen anyway. And he was like, I just think that honestly, trazodone is probably a better choice for you if it's going to happen. Uh, by law, the pharmacist has to ask if you want to consult with any new prescription. They always do. That was the first time they didn't, Kat. Nathan will forever be hiding from me or taking his lunch break. I wonder if Nathan goes home and tells his wife that damn crazy white girl came in today. 100%. You know he does. It's really ridiculous. Every time I see him, even if he's behind the windows in Costco and I'm just walking by the bath salts, I'm always like, hey, Nathan. Hi, Nathan. I do it to make him uncomfortable. Like I'm not really that needy of that stupid white girl. I'm just trying to make him uncomfortable. And every time he just looks up like he's so cute. He's got his glasses on and he looks up and he goes It's fun to get out of the house. There's not a lot that can be said about that. Poor Nathan. Yeah. I don't think so, Dub Track. I definitely don't think he's trying to figure out a way to hit on me. I think he's trying to figure out a way to get a transfer to a different Costco, is honestly what I think. I do the same thing with a guy named Mike that's a cashier at Costco. And every time I'm with Huxley, we'll scan the cashiers and I go, oh, hey, look, Mike's working. This guy cannot stand me. And you can feel it. You could cut it with a knife. This dude cannot, like, he hates my face. He hates my demeanor. He's probably like the biggest hater and ringleader on Reddit, is probably what's like this dude. Like, when I go through his line, I swear to God, smoke comes out of his ears every single time. I'm like, oh boy, I'm like, Mike's working, Hux. And Huxley always goes, Mom, that guy doesn't like you. Like, stop making him uncomfortable. He's probably a jester. And I did it today. My mom got some edamame, and that's all she wanted because I just had to go get my prescription. She was like, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Don't do it, but you're gonna do it. No one's doing it but me. My mom tried the Costco samples. And I was like, Diane, stop. I left her alone for 6 seconds. And I turn around and my mom is standing there with a woman in a hairnet. And my mom's like eating shit out of a cup like a little monkey at a zoo. I was like, no. I was like, Mom, no. I was like, Mom. You know how my mom always goes, Reese. I was like, Mom. It was so bad. Yeah, it was, Kat. I turned around for a second and a half and she was just standing there and she was like, this poor old woman, they got her. And she was standing there eating edamame. And I was like, Mom, stop. And she was like, what? And I said, you have no idea what you just put in your mouth. And she was like, what does that mean? She was like, there's samples everywhere upon us to try. And I said, no, there's not. You think that's edamame? That is a pile of arm hairs mixed with malaria. And she's like, what the hell does that mean? Just go observe. Okay, Anita, thank you. Go observe. Walk up, guys. Don't believe me. I mean, technically, believe me because it's scientifically proven. They've done studies on this. There are more arm hairs in the world than ghosts. It's a fact. You can go look it up. But they're everywhere. They're floating everywhere upon us. Hey, our turkey friend. And it's not a joke. It's a real thing. And then just don't believe me. Go to your friendly neighborhood Costco, okay? Walk up to the woman with the hairnet, the nice lady, right? Walk up to Fran with the hairnet. Walk past her and catch all the people who go there to eat lunch. Every single one of them is like, hey, what's this? It's going to happen every time. And yet somehow people still take their cup of pretzels off of the table after somebody does that. Absolutely time arc, no question. The other thing, we've talked about this, and I'm getting started on it. I'm going to back off, but I cannot handle. I'm getting mad. I can feel the heat rising in my face. Hey, Marty Jewel. We've talked about this ad nauseum, and I know it, okay? But it's worth repeating. Please don't ever let me catch you. Don't ever. Hey, Pat Kimbrell. Do not. Kiki, welcome in. Do not. No, Julie, ghosts. Don't let me ever catch you at a Costco. Like, I don't want to meet you, Giselle, at Costco. Because people will abandon their carts with their 4 children, their wallets, their checkbooks, everything that should be important, right? Just like your maternal skills, thoughts, right? They will shove those children and their bank statements and accounts, cards, checkbooks, right, into the middle of the road. They don't even park them on the side, right? You know what I mean? When I'm in a store, I will tuck my cart off to the side as much as I possibly can. It's like, here's the aisle. People will purposely like diagonally park their carts so that you can't go either way. They will say goodbye to their children, and the children become orphans. And then they go to the orphanage, or I have to take them, right? I got to feed these shit ass kids. Jennifer Ogle, that's an intense story right there. They will abandon, like, I have to call CPS. They will abandon their children for pretzel crumbs at Costco. Okay. This is becoming a seriously, like, very intense problem, and it is all over the news. Hey, if you say so, welcome back. Do me a favor and look into going into stand-up comedy. Absolutely not, but thank you. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm dead serious. Your background alone, Scientology, we have comedic timing organically. We do. Scientologists do have good comedic timing. I was raised by George Carlin. I mean, that's literally my whole youth. I just watched George Carlin. I'm not saying that I am like George Carlin, but comedy is my favorite thing. I love comedians. I love stand-up. I would piss and shit at the same time in my pants if I did stand-up comedy. There's no way. I would stand up and shit myself like I do at Home Depot. Every time I go to Home Depot, I shit myself. There's something in the air there. I don't know what it is. I mean, I poop my pants regularly anyway, but I wouldn't want to do it with a bunch of people watching. But thank you for the compliment. If it was samples of makeup, Timark, hell no. Everybody knows that. You don't go to Sephora and test things out. Good Lord, girl. There's trichinosis all over those samples. There is salmonella rampant. Thank you if you say so. Isn't that what Home Depot is for? To shit yourself? Not really, because it's full of men and it smells and it's uncomfortable. Hey, Rue, I hope you're feeling better. The only thing I do when I can't sleep is I turn on your channel and it calms me like a friend in my room. Are you being serious? And I don't need to say that because you wrote seriously. Rue. Hey, Zoe. We got to take a minute for that. I love Rue. I really do. Thank you for saying that. I can't believe anybody would listen to me as they go to sleep, but there's a lid for every trash can, and I'm happy to be your trash can, Rue. I mean it. You be the lid, I'll for sure be the trash can. You're not a trash can. I am. You be that lid for my trash can. And I'll take that. And I'll also take your $10. Thank you. No refunds, no exchanges. That's the employee manual, and you read it. I love you, Rue. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, babe. And I hope you're doing and feeling better. That's a surefire way to get ringworm. Yeah. Makeup testers. Gross. Yeah, no, Original Ann. Original Ann, let me ask you this. Well, let me ask the whole crowd. Would you rather eat Costco samples full of or would you and arm hairs, or would you rather sample makeup testing shit with malaria and ringworm? That's a tough one. I'll let you think about that while I blow my nose. I need real answers, people. No, Kat, I didn't say neither. You have to pick one, Kat. Stop it. Kat, I know you. You need to pick one. Ew, makeup since the skin absorbs it. I would rather eat arm hairs any day. Ooh. What's option 3? It's best to stink it up around men because they assume another guy did it. That's also what you do when your child is around. I used to do that all the time. I would crop dust all over the place when Huxley was little, and I'd be like, "It's the baby, sorry." Costco samples, at least they won't ruin my skin. Yeah, I'm going with Costco on that, guys. I would much rather get like stomach problems and shit myself than put something on. Like, this is the moneymaker. Like, we have to have this thing insured. I'm the talent. You know how I feel about my skin, though, and my skincare. I am not going to put anything that has ringworm on the skin. No, it isn't, Yadira. You better figure it out. I got an ace immune system. I'll take the food. Yeah, I don't have a good immune system at all. I pretty much shit myself anytime, like any day, anytime. I'm not going to choose lesbian stomping her foot. JoJo, strike one, and you will choose. I said it. I can't ingest something and know it's inside of me. What does this mean, Anne? You have to pick one, Anne. I would take a sample and then find a place to hide it. You drink the sample down with whiskey to kill the bacteria. Smart. We got a smarty in the crowd. Anne, do it. I said pick one. I mean it. Do it now. I'm not about to put any skin, anything on my face that other people have been rubbing their taints on. And you know they have. Do you know how many people don't wash their hands when they go to the bathroom? Right? Women are touching. Then they're going to Sephora and they're like, oh, lip balm. And then I'm going to go try that lip balm. You're out of your effing mind. I will eat Costco samples that day and skip that. I will eat. Now that I think about it, though, no, the lady with the hairnet has to wear gloves. So if she's touching the food, her taint is inside the glove. Oh, scroll up. Keep scrolling up. And Well, Anne, how far am I going here? Oh, I would do the makeup because I've done it at Ulta and then immediately use the alcohol remover. Me too. Now I test makeup all the time at Sephora, but I'm testing it on my hand. You're out of your damn mind. You are lost. You have bumped your head. If you think I'm going to like try something on my eyes, guys, I won't even share makeup. Like I mean, I don't have any friends to share makeup with, but like if I had a real friend here, right? Or, like as a small child, had I had a real friend, I'm not going to be like doing mascara out of the same tube. Hell no. That's the grossest thing I've read today, Denise LaFon, that you found a cockroach in a salad bar. Huh. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to try to forget about it, but thank you for getting it off your chest, off your keyboard. Imagine what it's like working with kids. I would rather stick needles into my corneas. Viggy Cat, gross. But I'll only put it on the inside of the wrist. See, I don't do that, Anne, because I don't want to get it on my clothes, but I always test like eyeliners. I will test colors on the top of my hand. And then if it becomes too full, I just, like you said, I grab the makeup remover and I start over. Yeah, I do. Do you think it'd be smart to wash your hands before you go to the bathroom and wipe and then wash after? Yes. Yes, I do. But I'm weird. I'm really weird about touching your vagina. I mean, in a positive way too. I enjoy it. But I'm saying I can't be having mine or Tommy's, I can't be having dirty ass hands near my taint. On a totally unrelated note, there's a couple that take stuff they no longer want from their house and hide it at other people's houses. What? That sounds incredibly highly illegal. Okay, so I didn't think it could get worse. Julie told us the disgusting tale of the cockroach, but now Clayton says, my mom found a Band Aid. That's going to ruin me for the rest of time. I'm sorry that you guys brought this subject up. No, I am not a lesbian, but that's not against our lesbians. We love our lesbians. Always wash your effing hands. You won't share a brush, like a hairbrush. I don't think I would either. I've not had the opportunity to do that, but I don't think I would either. Here's the thing I'm really weird about. I am super weird about even you're not gonna like this. I won't share a drink with anyone. Mm-mm. If you took a drink out of my drink, I would just say you can eat it. If you took a bite off of my sandwich, I would just give you the sandwich. I am super, super, super weird about and most people are not. Like my whole life I've been made fun of for this. Like I can't even hardly say it. I'm gonna gag. Like, do you see the moms? And yes, I am shaming here. Do you see the moms who like will take a sucker out of a child's mouth and put it in their mouth? Like I might be willing more to like stick my finger into a pencil sharpener. I cannot I absolutely will not share food. I will not share, but even a drink, yeah, no. Like this is my iced tea from when I went to lunch with my mom today. If you took a drink out of that, you'd keep it. I would not keep, I would never, I can't. I can't. I know. So West Coast Fancy Nancy says, me too, Julie, me too. But a lot of people are the opposite. A lot of people are like, whatever, it's a drink, who cares? Not to me, because if you, does anybody else think like this? Like, watch. We stop it with our tongue, right? And we let go. That just touched my saliva. And then I'm letting go of what I didn't drink and it's going back down. Even the thought of that grosses me out to keep drinking out of it. I can't, lesbians are fantastic. I cannot imagine sharing this. Oh, Anne, I can't imagine sharing this with another person, even my son. And people, a lot of Scientologists My ex-father-in-law, Doug, you guys know Doug, he would make fun of me so much for that, and it used to make me effing crazy. Like, he would shame me about it, but we all know how Doug felt about Huxley. He was deeply, unhealthily codependent and detached to or attached to Huxley, but, like, he would do that. He would, like, take something out of Huxley's mouth and put it in his mouth. And I would be, "Hey, radiate life force." I would literally be like, "Oh, oh, like, I can't look at that." And he would laugh and he would be like, "You're definitely not an Argist." He'd be like, "You are not a part of this family, are you?" And then he would say something that would hurt my feelings every time. This would always happen, like, in public. We'd go out to dinner once a week, and he would say, because I kept my maiden name when I was married into that family, because I hated the last name Argis, I kept my last name, which was Wally. And it was so hurtful because he knew how I felt. He knew the relationship between me and my dad, right? That my dad disconnected from me, that it was hurtful and sad. And he would say, "Boy, you're sure not an Argist." And he would go, "I'm so glad you didn't take our last name and you kept Wally." And he would say something like, "You have more in common with your dad than you think you do." Like, he would dig at me with my dad, but he would always say, "You're not a part of our family, so I'm really glad you don't have that last name." Like, he would say it, and then Brenda would always go, "Doug," because it always hurt my feelings, and he did it every time through the acts. I knew what he was doing. Like, you can't mince words when you say something like that. People know what they're doing. But I bet he has said that to me at least 20 times, right? In the 13 years that Huxley was in his life. But he would always say that. He'd go, "I'm glad you're not an Argist because you're certainly not a part of this family. Glad you kept the last name Wally." And I thought, you are such, hey, Jen, catching from a plane. Yeah, that can be hard, Jen. But I've watched some streams on planes. If you pay for the Wi-Fi, but sometimes it can get spotty. Yeah, Renee B, it was so hurtful because he would say, like, "You're certainly not a part of this family, and it's obvious. We're glad you kept that last name." So it was like this, like, yeah, Sarasota blend. It was such a divide. Doug was always sure to keep me on the outskirts. He was always sure to keep Huxley, like, right under him and keep Huxley away from me, right? So it was just like another dig that he would do to go, "Yep, see how you don't fit in this family? Makes sense." Like, he did it every time, and it was just over something stupid, like a drink. Or if we would disagree on something, he'd go, "Boy, it's obvious that you're not an Argist." And I thought, "You are such an asshole." Like, the entire family has that last name except me by choice. But it was like he was so glad I didn't have that last name, and I thought, you are such a, condescending, but I feel like that's not even the word. Snake-like, very snake-like. Yeah, I don't think so, Dub Track. It was very purposeful. He wanted to isolate you from Huxley and his son, so he would have control. What a master manipulator. He definitely did that, Nancy. Dub Track, I didn't have a relationship with my dad. I have no relationship with my dad. So it was even meaner because it was an absolute dig at the fact that you're certainly not a part of this family, but you're a Wally, which I had no one in my family that was a Wally besides my dad, who rejected and didn't want me in his life. So it was kind of like, "Oh, wow, thanks. Yeah, like, thanks for separating me and, like, making sure that you highlight and label that fact that, like, thanks, mommers, that I'm not a part of this family." It was so crazy. But you guys remember, he used to say, this was so uncomfortable, guys. He used to say this, a Scientology classic thing. Doug had 2 sons. One of them I was married to, one of them is Huxley's dad. And then he had Huxley, grandson. So there were 3 boys. And then there was me, and there was Brenda, Doug's wife. And we would all go out to dinner. And this would usually happen twice a week for almost 13 years. We never hardly missed it. Doug was really, really, really intense about us having, hey, Mimi, those family dinners. It was very important to him. I don't know if it was optics, I don't know what it was, but he would say, And he said this on the regular. And I just thought, what a shit thing to say. He would say, well, us guys, and then he would name it like as if we needed to. I did Ewa when I was married to Fred. I had his last name. Um, he would say, me, Hux, Michael, and Sam, we're all from the same home planet. That is so like you can't sit with us feeling like you have no idea how awkward it is to be sitting at a table with your family and for him to spout that out. And I would look at Brenda when he would say that, and Brenda would look at me, and I would go, "Thank you, Zoe." And I would go, "Well, I guess that leaves us girls out." And he would go, "Yeah, you guys were not from, but us guys were from the same home planet." And I just thought, that's so isolating, and it's such a shitty thing. It's such a shitty thing to do. Um, I know that may sound innocent, but, like, even go it's good that we talk about this stuff because even going back over it, I've said this 100 times to you guys, but guys, like, especially as we turn more older, we get older into our adult years. Kim is blue, that is true according to you. You told me that. People know what they're doing. You need to remember that, guys. People know what they're saying. They know what they're saying and they know what they're doing. And it may sound not harmless, but just like a dig, right? But if you think about that, yeah, Anne says you took away his dad because remember, Doug believes that Huxley is his father. Yeah, no, Helena, I don't mean innocent, but like it's a dig, right? But if you really think about that, Nancy, thank you for gifting a membership. I love when you guys gift memberships. Thank you, babe. Whoever got that. Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, for sure, Clayton. If you think about that though, like imagine what that felt like for a young child like Huxley to hear that. That's harmful, right? He's separating out mom. And little boys and little girls really love their moms. Huxley really loved me when he was little. He was very, very attached to me, but Doug took him every weekend. Like we definitely like joked and laughed and played, but at the same time, I feel like we were never I was saying this to my mom in the Costco line today. We would never we were never allowed to fully bond. Scientology keeps especially parents and children from bonding. That's like a big, big, big thing in Scientology. You're never allowed to fully they always keep a wedge between, right? And what was my mom saying today? God, I wish my mom would do a show with me. I would love it so much if she would talk about her Scientology experience. But my mom said, yeah, he totally did, Shell, from day one. The first day Huxley came home from the hospital, Doug spent the night. And for months, he did that. Literally months. He would not let me bond with my child. He would sleep in his room with him at night and get up in the morning and go to work and then come back at night and stay in my house. Is it okay to talk about your home planet out in public? No, Scientology does not allow breastfeeding, Rue. I had to do what's called the barley formula, which is a formula that L. Ron Hubbard concocted for babies. I was a barley baby. It's a big pride thing, right? No, you're not. You can't breastfeed in Scientology, so they keep mothers from doing that. Yes, Renee B, it's okay to talk about it out in public because it was a table full of Scientologists. Now, if Renee B, if it was the 5 Scientologists there plus you and Doug said that, he would do that. He would say Scientology like concepts and terms in front of non-Scientologists. That's a huge no-no. Yeah, of course you can, Pamela. It's a huge no-no, and what would happen, it's a thing, like, when you are in the orgs at Scientology, they will say, "When you guys are out in the world, you need to not be using LRH terms and concepts. You need to not do that. It's very frowned upon to do it." He did it all the fucking time. Brenda would say to him, if you were sitting there, Renee B, and he said, "We're all from the same home planet," she would go like this, "Hey, Doug, she doesn't know what that means, so you need to clear that up for her and try to avoid using Scientology terms." That's what would happen. What was wrong with breastfeeding? Can you pump? No, it is very frowned upon. Now, I'm sure that there are women who breastfed Scientology babies. I'm sure it's happened. But there is a specific reference that is written by L. Ron Hubbard, and it's called the barley formula. And it's a formula that he concocted, that he remembered that the Roman soldiers used to drink thousands of years ago before they would go into battle. And he says that this is the exact concoction that is needed for babies. Breastfed babies, he says, is a big no-no because mothers today are completely full of crap in their bodies and it's not good for them. And you should not breastfeed your child. So it is very frowned upon. The formula, I had to make it for a good probably 13 months. It's called the barley formula. And you have to go to like a cloth store, like a Joann or a Michaels. You have to go to one of those like craft stores and you buy muslin cloth, and you have to buy a lot of it because you have to cut a square of muslin every time you use it. And you take barley and you put like a cup of it in the muslin, you tie the muslin, you put it in a crock pot, and you have to cook that for 8 hours. I was making barley all the time. And it's supposed to turn pink, the water. It never did for me, oddly enough. Can you clean it before you use it? No, I just used a new piece of muslin every time. So then you take that, after 8 hours, you take it out and you throw it away. You're not using the barley, you're using the water. Joann Fabrics, yeah. Oh, sad, Bridge. And then not muslin. It's a cloth. So then you take that water and you add to it goat's milk and Karo syrup. Well, hi, Bobo. Oh, he's a good person. Oh, he's so friendly. And he says, Mom, take the trazodone because what's going to happen is I'm going to rip him to shreds and I'm going to get really ugly. And then I'm going to go get my hair cut. Oh, he's so friendly. And he's a great person. And he's a good guy. But he says, I'll kill somebody. Take the trazodone. You sleep. I'll take the first watch. Scary, Bobo. Scary. Yeah, it's all sugar. No, Nicole Taylor, as a matter of fact, so my son was on this formula and it's supposed to be just protein packed, right? It's supposed to be this like, again, soldiers march into war, right? When they take this formula. So it's supposed to be full of protein. I was raised on it and my teeth rotted out of my head by the age of 3. I had to have caps on all of my teeth. No Sarasota blend. I always made it. And then, interesting enough, yeah, Karo syrup. Guess what? When Huxley turned 2, guess what? He had to have general anesthesia because I took him to the dentist. He was 2 years old and his fucking teeth were rotted out of his head. He had to have general anesthesia, which is also a big no-no in Scientology. He had to have pulpotomies. Do you know what a pulpotomy is? Baby root canals. He had to have baby. Hey, just Joan. Oh, I understand, Joan. I hope everything's okay. He had to have baby root canals, and then he had to have caps put on all of his teeth. Coincidence? I don't think so, because my teeth were rotted out of my head. I have had 7 root canals, right? So, yeah, it's terrible. And I took Huxley to his regular pediatrician when he was like, I don't remember. He might have been 6 months old. He might have been 9 months old. I really don't remember. But she did not like us. And she finally kicked us out. But she asked me, and I was trying to hide it at our pediatrician visits. I was trying to hide it. And she asked me what I was feeding him. He might have been younger. Honestly, he might have been like 4 months old. I really don't remember. He's 16 now. How did Doug blame what on me? Doug told me that's just normal. Doug was a dentist. He was a dentist. So remember, he was like, that's normal. He was like, some teeth are just rotten, some teeth aren't. I was like, interesting. This pediatrician already had like a shit attitude with me. She just didn't like me. And she was like, what are you? She was like charting and she was writing and she goes, what formula is he on? And I said, it's just I was like, and I was just I didn't have an answer. And she goes, what is, are you breastfeeding? And I said, no. And thank you, Sarasota Blend. She goes, what formula is he on? And I said, it's a formula that I make at home. And I will never forget this woman. She goes, what do you mean? And I said, it's per our religion. And I was like stuttering. I did not know what to say. And I said, it's per like our religion. And she was like, what are you feeding this baby? Like she was ready to call the cops on me. And I said, it's a formula that I said I was raised on. It's called a barley formula. I said, it's perfectly healthy. It's full of protein. And she was like, well, what is it? And I said, it's barley and goat's milk and Karo syrup. And she went and had, she pricked the bottom of his toe to check his hemoglobin. And she was like, it read fine, whatever it was, whatever she was reading. She said it read fine. She goes, I was concerned about that, but it was okay. The number was fine, whatever it was. And I said, and I was so scared. I was like shaking. I was like, I don't know how to cover for this. Like I figured this was okay, but it's like I could feel her whole demeanor change. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised she didn't either, Renee B. And she looked at me and she goes, what's going on? I was like, I just shrunk. Michael wasn't with me. I was by myself. And she went, what's going on? And I said, what do you mean? Like I was freaked out. And she goes, what are you feeding this baby? And I was like, I just told you. Like, I'm not lying. I said, it's a formula that's concocted from my church. I was like, it's my church. It's a formula. And she left the room and she came back like this. She had a whole stack of papers inside of a chart. She handed it to me and she goes, here's all of your paperwork that you've been shown to see us. She goes, you are no longer welcome to come back here. I'm firing you as a patient. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, okay. It was really, really awful. I felt very shamed. I was like, okay, but to be fair, she was doing her job. I mean, I look back on it now, I probably would have done that too. Oh, I'm sure it causes diabetes. I am diabetic. Remember when I got, I was pregnant and if you remember, I got gestational diabetes. I tested positive for it. And the doctor gave me a whole rundown of, I got my blood meter. I had to go see a nutritionist and they were like, this is what you need to eat. This is how often you need to check your sugars. I went straight to the Church of Scientology and Doug and the medical liaison officer were like, gestational diabetes isn't real. That's a made up thing. L. Ron Hubbard doesn't discuss it anywhere. So if it isn't written about that, it isn't true. And they were like, you eat whatever you want. This is a whole psychiatric thing. And they were like, it's a made up disease. It's not real. And they were like, you're not going to follow that. You're not going to do that. Like, don't worry about it. You eat whatever you want. This is pregnancy. You're supposed to do whatever you want to do. And I was like, okay. And they were like, it's made up. It's a fearful tactic, psychiatric term that they made up. And what happened? I didn't follow it. Mommers, thank you for becoming a member. Wow. That is really supportive, babe. Thank you. Yeah, it was really bad. And I still don't blame anybody but myself for that. I mean, that is on me. I should have taken that seriously. I went to the nutritionist. They gave me like a booklet on what I should be eating. I didn't follow any of it. And what happened? I had my kid at 38 weeks. He was 10 pounds, 4 ounces. and I didn't even get to see him. He was in the NICU for 2 weeks. They whisked him off the second they pulled him out. They weighed him, they checked his blood sugar, and he was gone. He had to be in the NICU. Like, I to this day, I don't know what the diagnosis was, but if I had to guess, it was something to do with his sugars, and that was absolutely my fault, Rue. Like, I could have avoided all of that had I'm very different now than I was then. Like, now I question everything and I pay very close attention to my body. I'm very in tune with my body. I I say that. I don't mind dub track. I say that. And then yesterday or 2 days ago when I was at the doctor, I didn't tell you guys this. My cholesterol is apparently very high. And he was like, he showed me the number and uh, he goes, you're getting close. He said to the heart attack stroke range. He said, if I had to give you a speed limit, he said, you're going about 90. He said, if that tells you anything, if that kind of puts it into perspective. And I was like, what the shit? I was like, that's no good, dude. And he was like, yeah, he was like, yeah. He said, I don't know why it wasn't this high the last time. So he said, he said, we need to pump the brakes. You need to change your diet a little bit. And he said, let's recheck it in 3 months. How old were you when you had Hux? 25 Sarasota blend. So yeah, no, I definitely, guys, you can't sit here and say this wasn't your fault. I love you guys. I appreciate you for saying that. It's very sweet. But whose fault was it then? I carried the child. Like, hey, not so graceful swan. I absolutely should have known better. But then what happened? Right? Uh how long have I been? Did you fast before your blood work? Oh yeah, Holly, I always fast. Um I'm trying to think. For years and years, I was in Scientology, and I'm talking years. They don't want you to go to the doctor. This was when Huxley was born. He was, I don't know how old he was. I'm trying to think how old. I would say this was probably 7 years ago, maybe 8. Probably more like 8 years ago. I had to go to the MLO, which is the medical liaison officer within the Church of Scientology. They have no medical training. That's just their title, right? And every time you get sick, every time you have a headache, every time any kind of body illness, right? Anything that's changed, if you're having heart palpitations, hey, NC, anything, headaches, night sweats, whatever the hell it is, if something's changed, you are what's called routed to the medical liaison officer, the MLO, the guy who has zero training in the medical field. And I started having like really bad dizziness, bad. Like I worked in the medical field at the time. I worked for doctors, and I was doing eye exams on people and getting them ready for their pre-op stuff for surgery. And I literally would be in the exam room and I'd have to go like this. Like I would so like I remember having to do that. I'd have to grab the exam table all the time. So that was the first symptom, and that went on for years. Years. And then I started getting horrible yeast infections. I'd never had yeast infections in my life. And then I was getting these really bad yeast infections, and I was having to treat it with Monistat, right? Over the counter shit. It wouldn't stop. And I worked for MDs, but I never went to the doctor. And one day I finally told one of the MDs because I trusted her and she was the main lady I worked for. And I just pulled her into an exam room and I was like, I'm super dizzy and I'm getting yeast infections. And she was like, yeah, you need to get that checked. She was like, I'm not sure what, I mean, that could be a number of things, but she did say diabetes. And she was like, does it run in your family? And I said, no, but I had gestational. And she was like, then you very high chance of having it, right? And I went back to the org and I told the medical liaison officer that. No going to the doctor. They do not recommend going to the doctor. What they do is they'll go take more vitamin C, take more salt and potassium, and you need to get a bunch of body assists So that's what I just kept doing. This went on for years. I'd go back to Alex, the medical liaison officer, and he'd be like, "Yeah, you need to be drinking more water. You're dehydrated. You need to take salt and potassium. That's what the dizziness is coming from." Like he would diagnose me, and the same thing Doug would do. Doug would be like, "I'm technically a dentist, but I know a lot of medical stuff. He's right. You need to drink more water." This shit went on for years. And so for years, I would be like, like I would, whenever I would go somewhere, I'd purposely walk really close to objects. Like if I would go to Target, I would either have to hold on to the cart. Like every time I'd go with Michael, he would be like, "I'll push the cart." And I'd be like, "No, dude, I need a walker. I need something to hold on to." And if I didn't have a cart, I'd purposely walk right next to the shelves at Target and I would walk down the shelves and I would hold on to like I was just like, and it would just hit me in waves. And I was like, "Oh shit." And so I kept going to the MLO. The problem wouldn't handle. They don't want you going to the doctor. So finally, I married Jeff, and Jeff was not well. I mean, he had all kind. He's an older guy, overweight. Like he had the normal, older crowd, like high blood pressure or high cholesterol or whatever it is, you name it. Like he had several different things he had to see doctors for. So I get on his health insurance, and he's like, "When was your last medical exam?" And I was like, "I was pregnant. I don't know." So he was like, "Let me get you in with my doctor." So we finally scheduled me an appointment. I didn't tell the org, I didn't tell Scientology. And I get blood work done, and my A1C was 12.4. If you know what that is as a diabetic. When I first checked my sugar, I got a meter. My fasting sugar was like 356 one morning. It was like 356, 358, something like that. I took a picture of it. I still have the picture. And that's insanely high. Like that's not the highest by any means. It can go higher, but that's really, really out of control diabetes. That is super uncontrolled diabetes. So when I finally found out, I called my doctor friend because I didn't work for her anymore, but I called her and I said, "Carolyn, I just want to tell you," because I said, "You told me a long time ago this." And I said, "I am diabetic." And she went, "Yeah, I could have told you that." She was like, "You're just finding this out?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, 12.4 is really dangerous. Like, that's really, really high. So, yeah, guess what happened though? I find out I'm diabetic and I go to the org and I told Alex, the MLO, guess what he then told me to do? You're not gonna, the doctor was like, "No, no, Sarasota Blend, the medical liaison has no medical training whatsoever." Hey, JR, that's just their post they're assigned. They have no medical training. So guess what? Guess what they tell me to do? Doug told me to. Don't take any medication. Try to handle it yourself. That was it. Don't do anything about it. You need to get this under control. You need to start changing your diet, but like no medication because they do not want you taking medication. That's psychiatry. Like any kind of doctor, a regular doctor, yeah, Rue, any medication, even if it's like, for instance, you're not supposed to take Advil in Scientology. Like if you take an Advil, you can't go in session for 7 days. It's a big deal. Like you're not supposed to take anything. I had to do a drug rundown, which is it's a Scientology auditing program. And I had to handle all the drugs I'd ever taken. Guess what they were at the time? Cough drops. I had to run out cough drops. I was really, really young because we weren't allowed to take anything. So Jenna was the MLO at the ranch. Yeah. Yeah. I've done 5 Puriffs, Mommers. I'm trying to think. I think I've done 6, but I know I've done 5. And that's the other reason I could be diabetic, because if you think about what a Scientology Puriff is, sitting in a sauna 5 hours a day, taking 6,500 milligrams of niacin a day on top of all the other vitamins, the lecithin, the oils that you drink. I've done 5 of those since I was a little girl. That's a shit ton of niacin. I wonder to this day, a lot of people have linked that to diabetes, but also like I've had pancreatitis. It makes me oh, and my gallbladder. I had to get my gallbladder taken out when I was 16, and the doctor that did it was about to retire. He was such a nice old man, and he was like, "In all my years of being a surgeon," he was like, "I've never taken a gallbladder out on a 16-year-old." Like, he was like, "This is odd." So it makes me wonder, I have no idea, but it does make me wonder if doing all of those purifs has do and I mean, I'm not the only guys, every Scientologist has done that many, some have done more than that. It does make me wonder if that has done long-term damage to our bodies. Hey, Hux, can you let her out? Thank you. You pee out the excess niacin, Zoe? I'm sure you do, but I mean, I know you do. When you're on a Purif, your piss is like mellow yellow. It's like Mountain Dew. It's so bright yellow. I'm sure that's true. Your pee stinks really bad. But yeah, no. So they didn't want me to take medication for that high A1C, and I didn't. I went 3 months and I totally changed my diet. I really, really, really tried. I did like I started walking. I really tried and I actually did bring it down. I brought it down to 8.9 in 3 months with no medication. But at that point, thanks, son, the doctor was like, yeah, no. Like, you either need to get on medication or you're going to have to see somebody else because this is still ridiculously high and it's unsafe. Like, you can't control this on your own. It's too out of control. Like, your efforts were cool. That's a great effort. And you really did bring it down. But we all know, anybody who knows those numbers, that is not an acceptable number. Like, right now, my A1C has been for several years like 6.8, which they'd like it to be lower, but every doctor I've seen is like, I'm fine with that number. That's controlled. You're all right. When I went off of my medication for like 6 weeks when I had pancreatitis, it shot back up and it right now is 7.7. And that's high. That's not a range that you want it at, but it's because I went all wonky being off of that. Anyway, I feel like we're going into the weeds, but I'm sure you can, mommers. But I was in the Costco line with my mom today. And I wish my mom would do a stream with me. She probably will one day, but she looked at me so sad and I felt kind of bad. You know, I'm sure that it was a dig at her. And I said, I don't mean this to be mean to you, but she was talking about how much our dad, my sister and I's dad, who she had the kids with, who has nothing to do with this. She was like, it's just so sad because she said, you girls are like amazing girls and you've grown up to be such, I'm so proud of what you both have done and your kids and your accomplishments. And I said, yeah, yeah. I mean, yes. And she goes, but to be honest, she goes, he never liked you kids. He never did. He really didn't. And I said, yeah, I know. I was there. I remember. And I said, but to be fair, mom, I said, Scientologists don't really like their kids that much. And she was like, Reese, because she was a Scientologist, right? And so was I. And I said, it's not a dig. It's just the truth. I said, you guys are not allowed to bond with your children. I was not allowed to bond with Huxley. Who was I talking to? I was talking to a non-Scientologist when he was 6 months old. I think I was talking to somebody at the office I worked at, and she looked like she was going to fall out of her chair. And I shouldn't have said it. I feel bad that I said it. But you have to remember, when he was 6 months old, Doug had taken over. I never saw Huxley. Very rarely did I see him. Doug was in my home taking care of him, and then he would take him on the weekends. I didn't bond with Huxley. You guys know this. This is not a secret. I didn't get to bond with him. He was in the NICU. I didn't even see him for 3 days. Doug took over my child's life literally the day he was born. And I said to somebody at work, I think her name was Lindsay. No, Joan, my mom has mentioned that before. And I said, she goes, isn't it like so amazing? Like, she was just like gushing over having a baby. And I was your typical Scientologist, and I was not. And I still don't. Like, I'm very detached emotionally about that. And she was gushing over like having a baby and babies and like the bond. And I was like, Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and she was like, "No," but she goes, "You know that, like, mom feeling where, like," she was like, "They're your everything." Like, once you become a mother, like, your whole life changes and, like, they become everything. And she was, like, looking for me to answer, and she could see the deadness behind my eyes, and I was like, "I don't know." I said, "I don't really that doesn't, like, communicate to me." And she was like, "What do you mean?" And I remember saying this, and I wish I hadn't, but I said, "That's not how I feel." I was like, I don't feel like he's, like, my everything in life, like, I don't." And she was like, "What?" And I said, "I don't feel that way." And so I said that to my mom today because I said, "They love you, Tammy." I said, "They don't bond with their kids. They don't. They keep you from bonding with your child." That is a true statement. That is a fact. Look at how my parents were with us. Look at Michael Huxley's father, right? Those guys did not raise him at all. He was home alone. He didn't get to go to school. He was just hanging out on a Game Boy all day. Like, he has super anxiety. He hasn't been socialized. His mother left him every day, all day to be on staff. And then his mother left him from the age of 12 to 16 to go train at the Church of Scientology in Florida. Just left. She didn't see him for 4 years. What did you feel your everything was at that time, Sarasota Blend? Probably my spiritual, right? Like, I was a full-blown Scientologist at the time, so, I was a very different person, guys. Scientologists are above it all. They're very superior. They look down on the human race. I'm just saying this, it's true. They definitely feel like they have all the answers to life and, like, the secrets of the universe. Um, so I feel like I was very superior. I was like, I know where I'm going. I know my spiritual freedom. Like, I probably spoke like saving the planet. Yeah, I was like, I'm on a much bigger playing field. Like, my spiritual free like, it's gross and I'm embarrassed to say that, but like, if you go watch like a Scientology commercial and you see the people and how shark-eyed they are, they're just like, yeah, I'm like super confident and like I can move things with my mind and I know the secrets of the universe. Like, that's how they act. And like, you could give a Scientologist a real problem. Like, if you said something to a Scientologist like, "But your mother's in the hospital dying with cancer." This is what a Scientologist would do. They'd go, "I don't have any consideration on that. That's her choice, and she will dispose of this body and get a new one, and I will see her again when she comes back. We welcome her back. We wish her well." Hey, Luke Graham. So, like, that is how they talk. Go watch that Tom Cruise interview with that Australian guy who's like trying to ask him real life human feelings. Remember when he asks about Nicole Kidman and he was like, "She was the love of your life, though, right?" And he was like, "I mean," he was like, he was like, "She's a great girl." Like, he can't connect with human emotion and reactions. That's what there's no HE and R. Remember that? As long as I can remember, my father would scream, "No HE and R in this house. Human emotion and reaction." Watch a Scientologist and you will see their shark eyes. It's a real thing. They are above it all. They are trained not to feel anything. So when this woman's like, "But he's your everything," I was like, "Nothing is my everything. I feel nothing." And that's what I felt. I was like, nothing is my everything. And so when he says that Peter Overton guy says to Tom Cruise, he's like, "But she's the love of your life, right?" And remember, he couldn't answer it. He was like, um, because he doesn't feel anything, guys. Like, we are deadened. We were. I'm not anymore. But it's a true thing. And so think about that with your children. Your deepest, most you're supposed to bond with. Mm-mm. Mommers, yeah, it's a big, big thing in Scientology. And my dad, I would start to cry when I was little, and he'd bend down and get in my face, and he would go, "No HE&R in this house. God damn it." And it was terrifying. And I'll never forget it. He did it all the time. Every day of my childhood was no HE&R. Human emotion and reaction. It doesn't get any more robotic than that. So when that girl was like, "Isn't your child, you just, ugh, don't you just like cry when you look at him and you're just, oh, you just feel it on a deep level?" I was like, "No." And I didn't. And so when you look at it like that, there's no true connections to any humans in Scientology. Do they really mean this, or are they saying it because that is what a good Scientologist? No, time arc, they really mean it. That's why you do all the TR training. Thank you, Diana H. That's why you do all that Dolbe training, right? That's why you do all that training so that you learn to not have HENR. The whole point is to not react to anything. You go through life, right? Just going to the next level and the next level and the next level. But I still to this day think that's one of the reasons I don't really react heavily to things, and good or bad. I mean, like, I don't rush to react to shit that happens that's bad, but I also don't rush to anything good. If someone's like, "Oh my god, so and so's having a baby," like, I'm never like on The Price is Right and shit when they call your name. I'm kind of dead both ways about stuff. I'm like, I mean, you should have seen in Scientology. If someone was like, Did you hear that Bob died?" People would be like, "Oh, wow. Well, he had a good run. What do you guys want to eat for lunch?" Nobody gives a shit about anything. There's no news you could give a Scientologist where they're going to be like, "Oh my God, I'm devastated." Or they're going to be like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy." Neither way. It doesn't go either way. Like, they're pretty damn dead behind the eyes. If you look at Scientologists, but if you watch them do a Scientology video, watch them. They're like, "Scientology has really helped me. And here's how." Like, it's gross and it's weird. It still baffles me how your dad would say that, yet that's exactly what he was doing, reacting. RG Bar, it is weird. And if I had the opportunity, I'd like to ask him about that. It's interesting that, but I've said this 100 times. Scientologists have a lot in common when it comes to human emotion reaction. The only one that you'll see is screaming and rage, right? Raging. They rage all the time. Dan O'Connor threw a fax machine at my head. They would clear desks. They throw chairs all the time. They scream in people's faces. Like, that is the only acceptable emotion I've ever seen in Scientology. And they all have that in common. They scream. Yes, Sarasota Blend. Hey, Mandy Albert. Yeah, Nicole Taylor. Yeah. I mean, I'm more than grateful to be out of it. I want to spread the word and how evil it is. I mean, it's good to talk about this stuff, and we rarely talk about this stuff. I was, Pamela, and I do. It's hard to admit this. It's embarrassing because then of course, people who hate me are going to be like, "See, she just admitted she doesn't love her son." Nope. I'm just being vulnerable and I'm admitting to this stuff. And I said that to my mom today in the Costco line. I said, "Scientologists don't bond with their kids." And she went, "Reese," like it hurt her feelings. And I said, "Mom, it's not a dig at you." I said, "I felt that with Huxley. You felt that with your children. Doug and Brenda felt that with Michael and Sam. Like, it's a known thing." What did my dad say to me when I was pregnant? I said, "I just want you to be happy for me that I'm having a baby. This is the first grandbaby of the family. You don't ever ask me about it." I was like, probably at like the 32-week mark. I was pretty big. Yeah, Just Joan, I get that on a deep level. And I said to him, "You don't even ask me about my pregnancy. You don't ask me about work. All you do is ask me about Scientology." And do you remember his answer? My father said to me, "Of course, I'm not going to ask you about this. Of course, I don't give a shit that you're pregnant. Do you know how many pregnancies and babies you've delivered in how many years? 76 trillion years you've been alive?" He was like, "I don't give a shit that you're going to be a mother again." He was like, "Do you know how many times, how many lifetimes you've been a mother? How many babies you've had?" He said that. Those were his words. He goes, "I don't give a shit about motherhood or you being a mother." He's like, "You know what I give a shit about?" He was like, "I give a shit about our spiritual freedom and our future." He was like, "Clearing this planet so that that baby even has a chance." That's what my dad said to me with cold, dead eyes and words. He did not care at all Look at the detachment there. Sarasota blend, of course I believed him. Yeah, but I mean, so look at just that. Look at the drive, look at the wedge that he already put between me, hey, Wendy Burr, his new grandson being born, and my relationship with my dad. I'm sitting there talking to my dad with this huge stomach, and he's yelling at me. That's his, I mean, to be fair, my dad only communicates by yelling. He's a yeller. But he was like shouting at me, and he was like, I don't give a shit that you're having a baby. I was like, I feel like I'm in trouble for having a baby. Like there was no happiness. Uh, you should have asked what life when he was a mother for insight. I don't know what that means, Nicole. I need to blow my nose real quick. How long have we been on? Oh my God, we've been on for 2 hours. This happens every time. Hold on, guys. Yeah, it's very manipulative. NC. Thank you, Wendy Brewer. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to admit to this stuff. It's embarrassing to talk about it, but at the same time, I'm past that. I've told this story before, but I think it's worth repeating a lot because there are always new people. There's always people who hadn't heard it the last time, and that is one of the worst things that I would say that Scientology does is it separates the very thing. I believe that people are better together. I say that and then I'm like so isolated and I don't trust anyone. But at the same time, I think mothers and fathers should be very bonded with their children. I think brothers and sisters and siblings and families should be very bonded with each other. I never bonded with my sister. We were pinned against each other from a very young age. And so I definitely am sad. That's the worst thing to me about Scientology. Hey, Heather, is that they nobody is ever allowed to trust or fully bond with anyone. And I say trust intentionally because it's also the snitch culture. Hey, Jewel. Yeah. So if I were to try to confide in you, if you were my mother, you would write up everything I said and turn it in. You tell on everything, right? Um, everything I said to Brenda, she was my closest person in Scientology. Everything I told her, she would write up reports on and submit them. So you also can't get, so you can't bond with anyone. You can't get close because they think they're doing the right thing by reporting everything on you. So it's really a rock and a hard place. And I am picking up the pieces now with my son. I definitely feel awkward a lot, but he is 16 too, and he's not like super into wanting to hang out with his mom. And he's in a weird place because he's lost his grandparents in the last 3 years, and that's still pretty fresh, right? I'm sorry to hear that, Wendy, but all we can do is yeah, so true, Kestrel. All we can do is learn from it and try to be different people and like be the people that we were meant to be. I still to this day am like, is that me or is that who I was told I am? Right? Like Scientology is it's the manipulation and the indoctrination is super deep and everything LRH says. So I'm like, is that LRH or is that me? Love you, Kiki. We're going to sign off anyway. Will you guys hit subscribe real quick and hit the like button? It really helps me and it kicks things into the algorithm. Thank you, Mommers. That's cute. So I'm glad we went here. I had no idea what we were going to talk about today. Um, I have something I want to discuss tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's already Friday. You know what it is? I took a day off this week. I never take a day off, and it's thrown me off all week. Yeah, Bella, it's very diabolical. It's super, super dark. It's one I think cult guys help me with this. Don't cult experts say that Scientology is like one of the worst ones? Or if, am I making that up? I feel like I've heard that. Yeah, Nicole Taylor. He's a real prick. Um Okay, yes, Yadira says yes. I didn't make that up. Kim is blue. Okay, you would know too. Kim is blue. Yeah, Huxley's seeing his therapist. That's the best we can do. I think I push and I believe very much in therapy. If you can afford it, I believe in it. Yeah, it's one of the, or it is the worst cult to deprogram from. They say that for every year you were in Scientology, I remember this now. Every year you were in Scientology, it takes 3 years to deprogram from. And I was in it for 38 years. So I'm trying my best, but I love it when people hold me to a version of who I was years ago versus who I am now. That is the most unfair thing to do because I feel like I was constantly in fight or flight mode in Scientology. And thank you, Mommers. And I was being a Scientologist, and now I'm not. And I'm finally becoming myself. So I love how people like the haters and people who have met me are like, yeah, but she did this years ago. Right. And I'm trying to deprogram from being that person. Yeah, Giselle, it really is. Thank you, Just Joan. So, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, please, if you would do that. Thank you to the people who sent super chats tonight, who gifted a membership, Nancy, who became members. Thank you for that. It's really, really helpful to me and Huxley. It's very supportive. I never ask for it, but I just want you to know I never take that for granted. I very, very much appreciate it. I always say this, but more importantly, I appreciate your time. It makes me feel special because my favorite thing to do is make people feel seen and heard. But what you don't realize is you're making me feel seen and heard by sitting with me for over 2 hours and listening and talking to me. Bella, I hope that you stick around. I really hope you do. It was really nice to meet you tonight. This is an amazing community. We have amazing mods who keep us safe. Thank you, Bella. Thank you, Nicole Taylor. I love you guys. Thank you again for last night, for being a part of that stream. That was dark. I did sleep last night, which was magical. Hopefully they don't come kill me, but thank you for being a part of it. And Mommers, is this a daily thing? Yes. Yeah, I would say it's daily. We do a show usually between 4 and 6 Central Time. It can vary, but that's pretty much the time slot I do, and, we usually go for a couple hours, and I would say I take about 3 days a month off. One day, we have a Zoom call with certain members of the chat, and then I'll usually take 2 days randomly off during a month. So 2 to 3 days total a month I'll take off, but usually we're here every single day. So Mommers, I hope that you come back too. Thank you to the new people. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you, Sarasota Blend. It was good to see you again. I mean it. Mods, thank you for what you do. I appreciate everybody's time. We'll be back tomorrow. I have more stuff I want to talk about tomorrow, be kind of on a different playing field, but I want to discuss some topics tomorrow and get your input on certain things. So, all right, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you, Luke Graham. Luke Graham is also new, and I love that he's stuck around, our guy from Australia. Thank you, Jeannie Hansen. I love you, babe. I love you guys, and I will see everybody tomorrow. And here comes Fred, guys.